5 years ago, I decided I was going to read the whole Bible. I mean, I was going to start in Genesis and go all the way to Revelation. I had never done it straight through. Not in one sitting, don't worry, I ain't that crazy. But I decided I was going to read it, so I opened it up and I started. And about 3 months into that process, tragedy struck our household. And I lost my firstborn. So I put the Bible down. I couldn't keep going. I didn't have the heart. But I kept walking past it. And finally I picked it up one day. And I looked up at God and I picked that Bible up and I said, I'm going to give you a chance. Imagine telling the God of all creation that you're going to give him a chance. But that's what I told him. So I started reading again. And as I started reading, I learned something about relationship. You see, to have a relationship with anyone, you got to be talking to them. And they got to be talking to you. You have to be listening to them. And they have to be listening to you. And the way I see it, the way God talks to us is through his word. And the way we talk to him is through prayer. So if those two things aren't happening, you have to wonder, do I really have a relationship with God at all? And listen, there's some beautiful things that come with having a relationship with the God of all creation. You see, I've been hanging on to him with one. I've been hanging on to one of them for the last 5 years with everything in me. And that is, if you have a relationship with God, he promises that he will never leave you or forsake you. Now listen to that promise. Listen to it. He didn't say hard things aren't going to happen to you. He didn't say you're not going to face loss. He said, I will never leave you. And I can tell you this, it took me a while. I had to listen real hard sometimes. But God doesn't leave. No matter what you're going through tonight, no matter how deep a hole your life is in, no matter who has hurt you, give God a chance to talk to you. Talk to him. He's there. He remains faithfully. It's been a hard year. It almost took me down, I swear. Life was so good, I'm not so sure we knew what we had. I'll never be the same man. I'll never feel like I felt before. It's been a hard year, it almost took me down. But when my world broke into pieces, you were there faithfully. When I cried out to you, Jesus, you made a way for me. I may never be the same man, I'm a man who still believes. When I cried out to you, Jesus, you were there faithfully. I've had a hard time finding the blue in the skies above me. And if I'm keeping it real, I've been half fake and the happy they see. I may look like the same man, but I'm half the man I was. It's been a hard year, it almost took me down. But when my world broke into pieces, you were there faithfully. When I cried out to you, Jesus, you made a way for me. I may never be the same man, but I'm a man who still believes. When I cried out to you, Jesus, you were there faithfully. In my darkest hour you met me so quietly, You were there faithfully.